Hi guys. Hi Ross Lunch Actor fan. Hi Carry Me Through. How is everybody? Oh, well, maybe live will be an interesting live. Who knows? I am cold. I don't know why I'm cold. I may have to put on a sweater. Whew. Okay, that's what I haven't done yet. Thank you for voting. Don't forget to give the live a like. We will be getting into it in just a moment. So, a couple of things going on. Arizona, they had a sandstorm, a big one. Um, don't know what the ramifications for that will be, if we'll see that sand move across or not. Um, Possibility of another tropical storm development in the Atlantic. Looks like there is one, and it is Fernand. And at this point, I don't know what he is. He's a tropical storm. He looks like he's pretty far out from anybody. So I don't think he poses much risk. Monsoons. I don't know. Well, Arizona does go through a monsoon season. So, that's understandable. Okay. Today, we are talking about swamps. And I don't know what you think about for swamps, but I know some people, this is their image. We think of plants sitting in the water, maybe spooky, filled with mosquitoes, cattails, and snakes, and maybe alligators. Am I right? Am I wrong? The storm that is in the sandstorm in Arizona is a haboob. It is not what I would call a monsoon. Monsoons are heavy rains. They are formed by the outflow of a thunderstorm. So it may be connected to monsoons. But they themselves do not produce rain. So, anyway, today we're going to learn the truth. Well, yeah, because the winds push the sand. We're going to learn what a swamp really is and why in 2025, why we need them. Now, swamps are not the foul beings that need to be drained. Just saying they're not. Now, what I picture as a swamp and what you picture as a swamp could be two very different things. But let's talk about what a swamp actually is. And you might be surprised. Swamps are an area of land that is filled with water. We get that, right? Swamps have water in them. Ooh, this is going to be controversial right here. Tell me that is not controversial. Tell me that this question is not controversial. What makes a swamp and not a marsh is pretty simple. It boils down to the dominant tree in the wetland. Swamps are a type of wetland. Marsh are a type of wetland. And that dominant type of plant that is in a marsh or in a swamp, rather, is not cattails. It is not grass. It is trees. Trees dictate whether something is a swamp or a marsh. We will be talking about marshes later tonight. But there are two types of swamps. There are freshwater and saltwater swamps. Now, freshwater swamps technically are inland, and these oftentimes form around lakes or streams. Streams sometimes feeding a swamp, meaning that's where the swamp gets most of its water. Swamps can sometimes form as a lake begins to fill in with sediments. Now, the plants that grow in a swamp, they have to be adapted to the water, because if they're not, they're not gonna do well. They probably will die. Now, the plants that you find in a swamp, the trees that you find in a swamp, are going to vary based on where you live. I don't expect to find bald cypress in a swamp in Northwest. I caught myself carrying me through. In my area of the state that I live in. Just not going to happen. But further south, yeah, definitely. They're going to be home to all different kinds of wildlife, from birds to mammals, reptiles, amphibians, fish, and of course, arthropods, and probably other stuff as well. Now, in the case of the Everglades, is it a swamp? Is it a marsh? It is a freshwater swamp, because there are trees within the Everglades. In fact, it is the largest swamp in the United States. What makes a saltwater marsh? What is it? You've heard of it before, even if you have never visited a freshwater or saltwater marsh. We've talked about them, or I've talked about them either in a video or perhaps even on a live. You get just as many animals in a saltwater marsh or saltwater swamp as you do in a freshwater swamp. Marsh. So, what is a saltwater marsh? It is a mangrove swamp or mangrove forest. You get a flat area of sand and mud that gets covered up by the high tide, and then you get mangroves forming or coming up in that flat area, and you get a mangrove swamp or mangrove forest. All kinds of animals are going to visit this swamp, are going to be living in this swamp. You're going to get organic debris that settles within the roots of these mangroves. It is going to be a home to both animals as well as a place where animals can have their babies. And oftentimes, mangroves act as nurseries. In fact, some big game fish use mangrove swamps as their nurseries. Things like barracuda, tarpon, snook, and even some shark species. Now, why do I waste my time? Well, an animal isn't going to be affected by drinking out of swamp water because that's what they drink, right? Now, an animal that drinks salt water, drinking salt water is not really good for the kidneys unless the animal is adapted to drinking salt water and they have a means of getting rid of that salt. Humans should not drink salt water, as a general rule of thumb. So, swamps are important. They act like a sponge. The soil in swamps absorb water. Now, there of course is a limit to how much water they can take in, but during a flood situation, they can absorb that water. In saltwater areas, mangroves help to again absorb water. They help to protect the coastline from storm surges. Marsh swamps also absorb pollutants and they help to purify water as well. In the United States, we have lost almost half of our wetlands. Now, that means swamps and marshes both. Much of San Francisco's valuable real estate was built on drained swamplands. And in Indiana, much of our farmland, or at least portions of our farmland, at one time was swamp or marsh. And it was drained to make wetlands, or it was drained to make the farmlands. Not only that, in some places, the DCAK, I'm not going there. I don't really talk about evolution or creation on my channel because that's a personal thing. But no, we lost them. They no longer exist. They were destroyed. I guess it's a matter of your choosing which words you want to use. I think all three are fitting. Now, one of the benefits, perhaps, to draining swamps is mosquitoes. There is no doubt in my mind that if I were to walk into a swamp, I would get swarmed by mosquitoes. There is no doubt in my mind. Mosquitoes are not necessarily friends to humanity. They Okay, the new question is the best way to eat an Oreo. Thank you for the sub, the DCAK. Mosquitoes do carry diseases that are not people friendly. Well, that's usually the case with diseases. But yellow fever, malaria, dengue, West Nile. These are all diseases that mosquitoes carry. Do I want people to catch these diseases? Absolutely not. Do I want to see habitat being destroyed? Absolutely not. Do I have an answer for mosquitoes? Absolutely not. But I do know that when it comes to organisms being on the earth, there's a reason why they're there. And I'm going to say it. Mosquitoes are population control. They also help to feed other animals. And for better or for worse, that's just the way it is. We live in a society where if something is bad, we get rid of it. You break your TV, you put it out on the side, you go out, you buy a new one. You total your car, you get insurance money, and you get a new one. Nature doesn't work that way. No, that's not the case. That's not the case. But because there is water in swamps, it's a place mosquitoes can breed. Any relatively calm body of water is going to have mosquitoes in it, including sometimes the trees where they have a hollow section that water can fill up in. Mosquitoes. A puddle that lasts too long. Mosquitoes. So mosquitoes are a threat. Any other animals that live in a swamp, guys, learn to live with them. The answer is not to fill in swamps and then or drain them. It doesn't fix the situation. It makes it worse. I saw a recent video clip or video. A guy was talking about passenger pigeons. And he says, are there any insects as deadly as mosquitoes? Okay, so my understanding is this, Ross Lynch, actor fan. Mosquitoes are not born with the diseases, is my understanding. But if they bite something that has that disease, then they can pick it up and carry it. That is my understanding. The tsetse fly and the kissing bug are the next in line. Yeah, basically. Now, I need to confirm that, but yes. So mosquitoes are picked up. Mosquitoes do have to get infected. Okay. Once they are infected, they can spread it. So, yellow fever, dengue, all of these things, they have to pick up that virus or that bacteria, and then they can pass it along. Kissing bugs are interesting. They're a fairly hefty bug, is my understanding. I don't think they're as small as a mosquito. But they also have a little mouthpiece that they carry underneath the head. And when they find a place to bite, they will get that into position and then jab it into you. Now, what happens is with a kissing bug is as they're feeding on you, they go poo-poo on you. They drop feces on you. The bite itches, so you scratch it. And when you scratch it, you get their droppings into the bite. And that can lead to Chagas. And you don't want Chagas. Chagas affects the heart and the nervous system. Tsetse flies carry sleeping sickness, which is a parasitic disease that, if you don't treat it, can lead to major issues. Now, if you follow me on Facebook, I did mention an animal last night. I think it was. It is called the New World screwworm. And it is nasty. I'm not gonna lie. We had our first human case of it inside the United States. Now, this thing is a problem because it really is more or less something that affects cattle. Oh, I have no idea. That would be a doctor thing. Um so these screwworms, they are slowly creeping northward, and they are a flesh eating parasite. Doesn't that sound so? Sounds like something that my alter ego might like. Yes, it is a fly. Um Currently the risk to the public is very low. Um it was an outbreak from another country outside of the United States. The person had returned from a country in South America or Central America, and they had it. Now, what makes this thing bad is if you do not get this thing treated, the little maggots can get into places you don't want them. And a lot of times, what the female will do is she'll find a cut or a wound or even lay her eggs around the nose. Maybe the eyes, and they can make the wound bigger. You can get sepsis from it. It is not, screwworm is not a fungi. It is an insect. It is not something that if your neighbor goes to South America, comes back and has it, it's not something they can give you. However, it is an issue because of cattle. Hello, Klaus Halen. So it's something new that popped up, and I thought it caught my attention. You can do your research yourself and learn a little bit more about it. The females can lay up to 200 eggs, so you can do the math on that one. They are not something I want to mess with. So basically, if somebody were to get this, the eggs are laid, they hatch, they burrow sort of in a screw fashion into the body. And then when they're done, they fall out. And they end up in the soil, and then after some time they emerge as adults. There are in other countries growing concern about this animal. Um, That's interesting. I did not know that. Ross Lynch, actor fan. I am so bad at reducing people's names. There is concern that if the screwworms get into the cattle industry here in the United States, it could be bad. Hi, Vibe Stream. So yeah, that is what I have for you today. Nice. I expected more people today. I am looking more into potentially the end of the month. Well, we were. Oh, okay, I got you. Um, cool. We were talking about swamps as a environment, and then we talked about some deadly insects, and now we're going to open chat unless you want to talk about something else. I am cold. Anybody else cold? Because I'm cold. I'll be right back. I'm going to get a blanket. Because I am that cold. Thank you. It's well, I usually wear long sleeves all the time. It has to be cold outside if it's cold in my room. I do not like the cold. Vibe Stream, where are you from? And where is I know where Ross Lynch, actor fan, is from. I know where Carry Me Through is from. You don't have to give me the city or the town. You can just give me your country. Sorry, you can't see me. Oh, yeah. I think it dropped into the 60s overnight, maybe into the 50s. I don't know. I may have to go outside to get warmed up. 55. Yeah, that's not good. Um, tonight's live, we are doing marshes. And I will have today's video up after live. I started having issues with my phone and basically stopped doing everything last night. I did get the new story up on the Spooky channel. The next one, yeah, should be interesting. I think my alter ego is going to be pleased. I have no idea. That would be a hard one to answer. Yeah, I heard about that. Do you have to pay for it? Like, is that something you have to pay for? Interesting. Okay, guys, we're going to get rid of that one. Get rid of that question. If spiders could fly, carry me through. We have to be really careful. We can't be advertising. Well, I'm not doing the advertising, so maybe it's okay. No, I don't think they mean like ballooning, which is what it's called in spiders. Basically, all spiders do that. That's how the babies get from place to place. But if they could actually fly. What is something you would like to see in future videos? No, that could honestly that could be real. Guys, if this is your first time visiting my channel, I talk about all things nature. And yeah, I do all things nature. We did get some new subscribers. They have giant spiders everywhere. That's what tarantulas are. Let's see. What was I looking for? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I suppose. I love you. I love you. EM on VR. Dimitri Kalogaris. Mossy Drums. And Dies Horribly. Thank you for subscribing. And anybody else that I've missed. That is somebody's, it's literally somebody's, name. It's I love underscore you. That's their screen name. Thank you guys for a fairly quiet live so far. We haven't had to kick anybody. So that's good. That makes me happy. So I don't know. I really haven't seen enough of them to know. But I did see Spider-Man in the Multiverse, I think is the name of it, the cartoon with Miles Morales. Loved it. Yeah, a lot of the others I haven't seen, so I really don't know. I did find this real tiny moon snail shell today. He was hiding. You don't grow them. I just don't have time for them or the money to put into watching them. Not saying that I don't like them, because I do. Even The Dark Knight. I just don't have I don't have the money to put into watching any of them right now. I want to see the new Superman movie. Well, come on now. How relatable is a man who flies around in a cape that shoots basically fire from his eyes? Not totally relatable. But I like superhero movies because it's an escape. That's no, it's not lasers. It's heat vision. Um, it's closer to fire than lasers. No, Ross Lynch actor fan, that is totally okay. You don't have to like him. Um, by the way, I went downstairs to make me some toast, and there was a wasp on the kitchen table. I don't know where it came from. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're here and you're watching, I had to kill it. Um, yeah, I like Smallville to an extent. I was really hoping because they announced the CW announced an Aquaman series, but it bombed. The trailer for the series is up. Yeah, I will give you that one. A good nature documentary right up my alley. Favorite DC character? I don't know. No, I like Vixen. Well, that's okay. Vixen is, I don't know how to explain her. It is. I'm trying to find her. So she can call upon um the abilities of one animal at a time. Wonder Woman is cool. Hello, Transport Time. How are you? Beast Boy is pretty cool too. I'm good. No, she can't summon them. She just gains their abilities. So if she wanted to fly, she could call on the powers of an eagle. Or if she wanted to run, she could call on the powers of a cheetah. No, because she doesn't change into the animal. She just gets their abilities. She could call on the powers of a spider and climb a building. Or she could call on the powers of a kangaroo and jump over a building. I don't know. Transport Time, how is school going? I know that's a bad question, but I gotta ask. Because the Animorphs actually shift into their animal form. Uh oh. Uh oh. That's not good. No. She can only use one ability. Oh, okay. Yeah, most of our schools have already started. That's true. I don't know when the school system that I live in gets out this year. I haven't looked. I don't have kids, so I really don't care. We are discussing our favorite DC characters. We are now, anyway. Green Lantern is cool. You mean, oh, yeah. Yeah, but Green Hornet, he's more like Batman. I like the idea of having powers and having to learn how to use them and have to figure out how to use them and then all of that stuff that goes with it. How not to use them. Yeah, that is true. Well, but Superman can get hurt. Like the Wonder Woman that we knew as kids, Carry Me Through, doesn't exist. She really doesn't. She has her lasso, she has her bracelets, but she's an equivalent to Superman now. Well, I know that, but they do in the comics. And that's the fun of it. Is they offer that little bit of escape. It's like reading a book. Should we look at the poll? Let's do that. So, as of right now, 25% of you say drain them all. Wait, let's do this. Do you think all swamps should be drained or preserved? 25% say drain them all. And 75% of them say preserve them all and restore. So, yay. Yeah, I mean, no. Oh, definitely. The Submariner was also uh um yeah, the original Human Torch was created in 1939. Bucky Barnes, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, the Spectre, the original Flash. Really? Okay, Transport Time, what's your question? I caught one episode of it. Only one. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I like Batman, he's cool. Oh, well, I hope they do good. You're welcome. I know he's not a superhero. I don't understand it either. Personally, I like Tarzan. I know he's not necessarily. Starting fire. Starting fires. The fans are starting fires? That is crazy. Oh. I don't know. We've had riots during some of our football games. Anyway, guys, I need to go so I can get stuff done. Um, I hate leaving you guys, especially when you're talking, but I gotta get work done. I will talk to you later. I will be on again at 7 p.m., guys, my time. Bye bye.